Hello guys, what's up? Welcome to the new tutorial from the SketchUp Arc Studio YouTube channel. This is the 3D model that we have in here, and you can download it from the 3dwarehouse.com from the SketchUp. So this is the interior of the house, and this is the exterior of the house. So I'm going to show you how you can create some simple renders for your architectural jobs. Let's get to work. I'm going to open the Enscape in here, and I'm going to maximize the screen. So first of all, I need some type of frame for myself. I prefer to start my job with the visual setting and the output bar in here. So I'm going to change the resolution from the general resolution on the full HD mode to the custom mode. And I want to change the dimension of these pixels in here, 9020 to 4040, and something like that is really good, and I press enter. Now I'm going to change the output format from the PNG to JPG, and I'm going to click on the save frame in here. So something like that is really good for us. This is the road, this is the house, and this is the garage and parking in here. So I'm gonna move a little bit in here. Don't worry about the grasses. So I'm gonna click on the asset library in here and change my category to the vehicle. So I prefer to use some type of simple vehicle in here, or something like the Dodge Charger. So I'm gonna add it in my environment like that and apply changes. It takes a little bit time, and after that you can see it completely applied for us. Now I'm gonna select it and rotate it a little bit, something like that. Not completely straight. Always use some type of natural rotation on your objects. So something like that. Now it's much better and wonderful. So I'm going to click on it. Which type of color you want to use for this car in here? Comment your opinion in this video. So I'm going to change the color of this car to some type of dim gray color. And now I'm going to apply changes. As you can see, it's really wonderful quality, and it really helps us in this project. So I'm going to click on the categories, select people in here, and I'm going to select some type of guy like this who walk near to the car and apply changes. So everything is done for me right now. So I'm going to go a little bit to the backside like this, and I'm going to use the 2-point perspective for my job to have some type of straight camera lens position. So I'm going to click on the visual setting, going to the skybox in here, and change my source from the white ground to the white cubes to create and simulate some type of city space in here. I want some type of clouds, but without any type of cirrus amount, and contrail is 0. So I'm going to click on the main bar and decrease the field of view, something like that, to improve my shot. So I can change the resolution too to see what happened in here. So I'm going to change it to the full HD. Now I'm going to turn on the save frame, and the result is not really bad. So I'm going to click on the visual setting in this place, and before I change the exposure, I'm going to hold shift and right click to change the time of the day, something like this one, for example, something like this. And I'm going to go a little bit to the upside like that, and now everything is wonderful. You can orbit your camera if you have some type of flexible 3D model in this place. Something like that is not really bad in here. So I'm going to move it a little bit to the upside like that, and click on the visual setting and hold Ctrl and U to change the sun direction. Something like this is not bad, but I prefer to use some type of light from here, something like this. So I'm going to click on the visual setting. I'm going to turn off the auto exposure. Now I can manually change the exposure, but I prefer to use auto exposure in here and add 52% on this render. I increase the depth of field and uncheck the autofocus. I'm going to focus on this facade in here. So I'm going to play with the focal point to reach to the best result in here. Something like that is really wonderful. So when I increase the depth of field, look at these trees in here. And when I decrease it, you can see better tree details in this place. So I prefer to increase it a little bit abnormally. Something like that is much better and professional. So I'm going to click on the image bar, use the auto contrast to help to manage the shadows and reflections. And for the saturation, first of all, I'm going to change the color temperature. For this reason, I'm going to minimize this screen in here. And now I can see the changes on my render much better. So I'm going to change the color temperature to some type of a little bit warm render and increase the saturation a little bit, something like that. Motion blur is 0 and lens flare is not important in here and bloom is not really important. So chromatic abbreviation is 0 and I will go to the atmosphere bar. I don't need any type of fog in my environment and night sky brightness is not really useful. But in here we have the shadow sharpness. Look at this place in here. We have some trees and cars shadows. When I increase the shadow sharpness, I can see some type of very sharp shadows. And something like that is really good. You can use the artificial brightness for the inside of the house, and when I increase it, you can see better brightness inside the house, and the window is 0. So in the skybox, I'm going to change the density, something like that, and decrease the variety, something like this. With the altitude, I'm going to change the clouds movement in the sky, and something like that is really wonderful. So I'm going to click on the output. Everything is done for me right now. So I'm going to minimize these two screens in here. And now time for adding some type of important objects in our render. First of all, I start with these grass in here. This grass is too high and we can't see the parking and garage surface very well. So I'm going to select it, click on the Enscape material editor, and I'm going to click on the eyedropper and pick up this material from my 3D environment. So I decrease the height of these grasses and height variation like that. Now it's much better. And in here we have some type of concrete for the building and facade design. So I'm going to pick it up. Roughness is too low for this type of render, and we can see reflections on this facet. So it's not realistic. I'm going to increase it to see only my textures and materials. And I'm going to increase the size of it and turn some normal rotation about 40 degree, something like that. And now everything is good for me. So I'm going to click on the Enscape asset library in here. I'm going to click on the vegetation and I need some type of bushes for my house. So in here we have two empty places in here. So I'm going to maximize this screen in here and I'm going to use some type of these type of grasses like that in this place. And now I'm gonna select another type of grass in here, something like that one, and I'm gonna close it. So I'm gonna select these two objects in here and take some copies about 4x, and now it's much better. So I'm gonna go to the Enscape environment, and this is the result that we have in here. It's much better. I can take another type of copy in here, but don't worry about the scale and size of it. I can really scale it very fast and easy to something like that. So I'm gonna move it in this place, and now I'm gonna click on the Enscape. As you can see, these details are really important for our rendering. So everything is good right now. I can imagine maybe the sun can be much better for these jobs. So I can change the sun position to see the best result. Something like that is not bad. And I can move my camera shot, something like this. So I'm going to click on the visual setting and increase the exposure a little bit. And in the image bar, I'm going to increase the saturation. All right. I'm gonna click on the screenshot button in here, and on my desktop, I'm gonna save this render. As you can see, it takes a little bit time, and after that you can see the final result, very useful and wonderful. And finally, this is the result of our job. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks for your watching. If you like this video, please subscribe our YouTube channel, touch this button, and goodbye.